Hi guys, a few years ago I was having dinner with Kris Draper. Kris was a star with the Detroit Red Wings on the famous grind line, and then he was a good human being and he kept his nose clean and always was a really good student of the game and became assistant general manager, which he currently is with the Red Wings. So I used to do quite a bit of work for Kris, and we became friends, and I trained his kid, and his son and my son became friends a little bit anyways. And so anyways, we had a really good relationship. And one day when I got off the ice, we met up for dinner in Detroit and had a conversation about him, about his hockey. And I asked him, Kris, so growing up, Kris was a real offensive player. Like most guys in the NHL, they grow up being very skilled and very good. And coming through the junior ranks, he was highly skilled player. So my question was, Kris, why is it, or how did it happen that you became on the famous grind line, the grind that shut teams down? And they were loved in Detroit, and they ended up winning 3 Stanley Cups. And they were famous. Darren McCarty was on that line. And anyways, how did that happen? So he said, Andy, it was really simple. He goes, this is to keep a short story long, I'm going to shorten it up a bit. He said the coach was looking around the room, basically asked, we need guys to shut down Pavel Bure. We need guys to shut down Jaromir Jagr. Who on this team wants to do it? And he just kind of lifted his hand and said, I'll do it. So he said the great thing about that is he never had any intentions of that. He was just playing hockey, played it hard, played a good two-way game all the time, and paid attention to details within the game. So when he got on the ice in that tournament, he realized, wow, do I ever get a lot of ice? He gets more ice than he typically would because he's playing against the top players. The other thing he noticed was that the pressure to put pucks in the net and to produce points became a lot lower. That pressure was gone, and his job was just to shut these guys down. So if the goal scorers that don't score they get judged very harshly by fans, critics, coaches. That's their job. And he also said that in the NHL there's a lot more room for players that play a good two-way game, that have some offensive ability, but play a good detailed two-way game. There's a lot more spaces, and you can move up and down the lineup, and it gives you a lot more chances for success and have a long career. So Kris had a good 15, I think, plus years in the NHL. So the reason I'm telling you that is because, first of all, I thought that we had a great talk, and I learned a lot that night when we were talking. And I think I look at it from a coach's perspective. When you're coaching players, I think it's very easy to pigeonhole, taking your best players that you think might have a chance to move on and just let them do their thing and just go score goals and stuff. And what happens is a lot of times is they're missing key components of the game, and that's the attention to detail, the shutdown side, the toughness, the hardworking aspect of hockey. And then they're limited when they get older to what roles they can play. So I think when coaches are coaching, I think it's really important that, yes, you have offensive players and you want them to do well, but I think it's very, very important that you teach them all the little details of the game, their defensive zone, their face-offs, and all the things that necessarily don't get you a lot of glory, but they make a difference to your team. I think players have to really embrace that. Like, the best players are really going to understand the game. They're going to do all the little things that are going to make their team better. And then, just simply take your eyes off of just scoring goals and being offensive, because it's a great thing to have in your bag as a hockey player, but it's critical that if you're going to move on up the ranks in hockey, that you understand how to do all the little things, all the details of the game. So you want to put the pucks in the net, you want to make offensive plays, but you want to do the things that don't necessarily get you all the glory. And if you do those real well later on in life, you're going to have more opportunity to become a player than if you don't. Parents, that's another thing. Like, encourage your kids. I know I did a vlog the other day about my son's hard work and getting 3 goals one game, and how I wasn't thrilled about his work ethic. Parents, if you can just sometimes ask questions about the sides of the game that aren't the glory side. Like, did you block shots? Did you work hard? Did you win your face-offs? Are you making your players around you better? And if you're doing that kind of stuff, then that's going to give you a chance to move on. It's not always the glory stuff that is going to get you to the highest level. It's the stuff that a lot of people don't understand and don't see. And really, when I look at it running my business, I do the main work in my business. When I'm on the ice, I'm kind of running it. I'm running everything, and it's my ideas, and it's a lot of energy, and it's my thought process. But I could not do it without my support staff, the guys that know my system, that make me look good by getting things organized on the ice and doing the work in the background. Like when I'm teaching something and they go and they teach the kids for the second and third time while I'm off with someone else. That's what makes everything great. So for my business, I get the glory. I think I probably because I earned it, but the guys that do the work with me are critical to my success. So that's what you have to look at as a hockey player. Is not only is it important that we have guys that produce, but we have to have the guys that support them and make them great. And you know what? You're going to have if you're a two-way player and you can do things really well, both ends of the ice, you're going to have a better chance of cracking a lineup as you move up, and you're going to have a better chance of staying there. So I hope you enjoy that. Thank you.